So I wanted us to have a few more examples that we did together using this idea of checking our work with our calculator. All right, if I take a look at this summation, I have 3 times an n. This is an arithmetic formula. So we learned that the sum of an arithmetic is n divided by 2, a sub 1 plus a sub n. In this case, I know I'm going from my first term to my 16th term. So s sub 16 is 16 divided by 2. In order to find my first term, I'm just going to plug into this explicit formula, 7 plus 3, 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0, times 3 is 0, 7 plus 0 is 7. To find my last term, a sub 16, I'm just going to plug in a 16. 16 minus 1, so 3 times 15 is 45, 7 plus 45 is 52. Now I'll just throw that in my calculator. 16 divided by 2 is 8, so 8 times by 7 plus 52, close parentheses. This should equal 472. What's the shortcut? In your calculator. You're going to go second stat, scroll over to math, and down to the word sum, because we want to sum these all up. Second stat, go over the operations because we're talking about a sequence here. Alright, so now we have to tell the calculator what sequence we're using. You need an explicit formula. 7 plus 3, x minus 1. Define your variable x, tell it what you're starting with, and then what you're ending at. Start with the first term, end with the 16th term. And there it is, 472. We were right. So let's go over those steps one more time. Second stat, go over to math, and scroll down to number 5, the sum. Go back, second stat, scroll over to ops, down to number 5, the sequence. So calculator looks like sum, sequence, we have to enter in 7 plus 3 and minus 1, oops, and that will be an x, comma, define your x, tell it where you're starting and where you're ending. Close it, and that will give you 472. Now you wouldn't need to show all the work there, but I wanted to give you that so you had it. Okay, let's go ahead and try the next one. Pause the video, see if you can work it out by hand, and check your answer. In this case, it's geometric, 4 to the power of n. So my formula s sub n minus r s sub n is equal to a sub 1 minus r a sub n. I'm going to go from the first term to the 8th term. So there are 8 terms. S sub 8 minus, common ratio is 4. My first term I'll need to calculate. A sub 1 is 12 times by 4 to the power of 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. 4 to the power of 0 is 1, so 12 times 1 is 12. Minus my common ratio of 4 again. And then my last term, 8th term, is 12 times by 4 to the power of 8 minus 1. 12 times by 4 to the power of 7 is that big number, 196,608. Now it's a matter of just crunching the numbers. 12 minus 4 times by 196,608. Negative 786,420 is equal to 1s minus 4s is negative 3 s sub 8. To get my answer, I'm going to divide by negative 3. And my sum of these is 262,140. So what would the shortcut in my calculator be? Let's follow the same steps. Second stat. Scroll over to math and down to the word sum. Second stat. Scroll over to the word ops and down to the word sequence. I'm summing my sequence. We need to tell it what the sequence is. 12 times 4 to the power of x minus 1. Define your variable x. The lower limit is 1. The upper is 8. Close your parentheses. And look at that. We got the right answer. A third example would involve if they didn't write it in summation formula and they just gave me the sequence, or I'm sorry, the series, and asked me to sum all these numbers. If I wanted to do this by hand, I would have to figure out, this is adding 5, so it's arithmetic. S sub 5 is S sub n is equal to n divided by 2, a sub 1 plus a sub n. Right now I don't know how many terms I have. I don't know what my n is. So you're going to have to calculate that. Thinking of the explicit formula, this is 3 plus 5. I don't know how many times. But when I do that, I'll get up to 393. If you solve this, you're going to get n equal to 79. So the sum of 79 terms is 79 divided by 2, first term of 3, last term of 393. So we get a total of 15,642. If I try to enter this in my calculator, remember I've got to say the sum of the sequence, and then I have to write the explicit formula. If you don't have the explicit formula, you're going to have to create it. I start at 3. I add 5. I don't know how many times. Then you have to define your variable. Oops, and we'll call this one x in our calculator. You have to tell it our lower limit. I'm starting at the first term, and then you're also going to have to calculate that 79 because we don't know where we're ending. So while it's really nice to get you around this part of the formula, you'll still have to find the number of terms. And look at that, we got the right answer.